Before I started making AMVs or running an editing channel, I actually had another YouTube channel, and that's the channel you're watching this video on right now. Back then, I was doing pretty much whatever I wanted. I made talking head videos, commentary videos, anime reviews, movie reviews, and all kinds of different content. The main difference was that I was the content. You would see my face, hear my voice, and the videos were centered around me talking about whatever I was interested in at that moment. But eventually, I started getting more and more interested in video editing. I wanted to experiment with different editing styles, music, effects, transitions, and just see what I can create. So eventually I decided to start a separate channel specifically for edits. And when I first started that channel, I wasn't thinking nothing about monetization. I wasn't thinking about building a business. I wasn't even thinking about getting millions of views. I was literally just making whatever I wanted. I would make arcing edits, Marvel edits, anime edits, and pretty much anything else that I thought looked interesting. But eventually anime edits started to just stick, and for a long time that's what the channel became known for. I started making more and more AMVs and anime edits, and eventually I started seeing some pretty crazy numbers. I've had videos reach hundreds of thousands of views, but one video in particular completely blew up. As of today, it ended up getting over 5.5 million views, and seeing that number was honestly crazy. But here's the funny part about that video. Out of all of the edits I've ever made, that is one of the last ones I would have expected to get blown up. It's actually one of my more raunchy, sexually suggested edits, and when I was making it, I wasn't sitting there thinking, yeah, this is gonna get 5.5 million views. I was just having fun with it. I thought the edit looked stupid, but in the funniest way possible, and that's exactly why I enjoyed making it. Then it blew up, and I'm not gonna lie, the comments on this was wow. It was one of those situations where you're sitting there watching your video get millions of views, while also thinking, of all the videos I could have made go viral, this is the one? And honestly, that's one of my favorite things about making edits. Sometimes the videos you take the most seriously don't do anything. And then a stupid little edit you made because you thought it was funny ends up going viral. But here's something I learned from running an editing channel that I think is really important. Views don't always equate to money, especially when you're making edits using copyrighted material. If you're using clips from animes, movies, TV shows, and other copyrighted content, you have to understand that getting millions of views doesn't automatically mean you're going to make millions of dollars. Some videos get claimed, some can have huge revenue go to the copyright holder, and some may not be monetizable at all. Luckily for me, the 5.5 million view video ended up being shared monetization, which meant I was actually able to make some money from it. And yes, it was a decent amount, but it wasn't life-changing. I think that's something that people need to understand when they see a video with millions of views. You might look at the video and think, wow, this person must have made a fortune, but that's not necessarily the case. There are lots of things that go into how much money a video actually makes. And with edits specifically, copyright is a huge factor. So if you're thinking about starting an editing channel because you think it's an easy way to make money, I wouldn't recommend looking at it that way. For me, the money wasn't what really made me get started. Just like editing. That's honestly the biggest reason I've been able to do this so long. I liked taking a song, finding the right clips, putting everything together, syncing the visuals to the music, adding effects, and seeing the final product come together. And I think that's probably the biggest piece of advice I can give someone who wants to start editing. When I first started my channel, I didn't have some perfectly planned niche. I wasn't sitting there with a business plan trying to figure out exactly what type of content was going to make me the most money. I was just experimenting. And I think that's important when you're starting out. Don't be afraid to make something different. Don't be afraid to experiment. Don't be afraid to make an edit that doesn't look like everybody else's. Because if you're consistently trying to copy whatever is currently popular, you're probably going to have a hard time standing out. And more importantly, you might eventually get tired of making it. At the same time though, I don't think you should completely ignore the market. If you're trying to turn editing into a business, you need to understand what people actually want to watch. Pay attention to what your audience likes. Look at which videos perform well. Learn why certain edits work and why others don't. But there's a balance. You should understand the market without letting the market completely control what you make. That's something I'm trying to do right now. And for a long time, my channel was heavily focused on anime. And honestly, it worked. I got a lot of views from it. I built an audience. I've learned a ton about editing. I've learned a lot about YouTube, but eventually I realized that I didn't want to be stuck making one type of content forever. So I've started changing things up. I've changed the name, I've changed the branding. I'm going back to making whatever I actually want to make. It could be anime, it could be Marvel, it could be movies, it could be something completely different. I'm okay with that because I think one of the biggest advantages you can have as a creator is being able to adapt. And now I'm trying to take everything I've learned from running the editing channel and apply it to something bigger, because I don't just want to be somebody who makes edits for fun anymore. I want to become a professional video editor. I want to work with clients. I want to edit different types of content. I want to build a business around something that I've spent years learning how to do. And that's actually why I'm making these videos now. I'm documenting the process of trying to turn video editing into a career while I'm still working full time. I'm still learning, I'm still improving my editing, I'm still figuring out how to find clients, I'm still figuring out exactly what I want this to become. But I think that's what makes the journey interesting. I don't have everything figured out yet. I'm figuring it out as I go. So if you're somebody who's thinking about starting a editing channel, or maybe you're already making edits and you're wondering if you can actually turn it into something bigger, here's what I'll tell you. Don't wait until you have the best computer. Don't wait until you're an expert. Don't wait until you have a perfect editing software. And definitely don't wait until you know exactly what your channel is going to become. Just start making stuff. Make the edits you want to make. Experiment. Try different styles. Pay attention to what works. Learn from your mistakes. And most importantly, make sure you actually enjoy what you're doing, because you never know. That random edit you made just because you thought it looked stupid and funny could end up being the video that changes everything. And for me, that's exactly what happened. So that's it for this video, y'all. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.